Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Gina and I'm doing ICAD 29 to 36. Today I love this. Yeah, I love that print. Well, it's not a print, it's from, I think it's excess paint from a different project, but I just love it. Okay, so today I decided that I'm going to just do collage. I'm using my papers. I thought today instead of ripping, I would cut my pieces, so I'm going to have sharp edges. And I chose pink and black today. If you want to see me use specific colors, let me know, because I realize I kind of gravitate towards certain colors all the time. So if you want me to try something different, you know, whatever colors you would like me to work on, let me know and I'll try it. Once I have it, of course. But yeah, I could make it too, right? Because you could mix your own colors. So yes, so I have some nice bold patterns. I'm just loving these black that I did. These are patterns that I made. I just took regular paper, whichever paper I could find. Some is copy paper. Some of them are drawing paper from drawing books. And I just painted on them. Any kind of scribbly things. I did specific marks, like I would have done those brush strokes. I would have done the circular marks. And I just made marks in colors that I thought, what I tried to do actually was make marks in colors, in all the colors that I could think of anyway. So that when I needed it, I could just go through my folder and pull out those specific colors. So what happened here is I'm using my index card. I already cut them, but I taped them back together using masking tape. And then I flipped it over, so now I have this side. I did not cover it in gesso or matte medium. I didn't cover it in any covering. It's just the raw card. Because I knew that I wanted to collage today, I knew I was just going to glue stuff down, so I didn't prepare it in any way to receive any paint. And I'm just cutting up my pieces and sticking them in places that I think would look cool. Even though I stuck my cards together, I'm still kind of probably 50% keeping in mind that this is where this card stops and this is where the next card begins. Because at the end of it, I knew that I was still going to cut it up. So I had to be aware of where I put certain things still. You know, I don't want like all black on a card. In other words, I wanted to be able to mix it so that there is different pattern and different colors on each card. So that was my purpose of trying to keep in mind, okay, this card could probably end here, so let me do this. And then I also have that text piece. It's a book page that I printed on. I have a stencil with words, and I just stenciled on the book page. So I even though it's very different from the other pages, because the other pages were blank white pages, and this one is obviously an off color, and it has text on it, so it's very different. But I just thought it would be cool. I stuck that on the wrong way. I was like, no, okay. Yeah, I just thought it would be cool to have that different element in it, you know, that text and the different color at the same time. I thought it would add some very cool but simple interest. And I also decided to start adding some thinner pieces, some much thinner pieces, to help divide as well as to help join certain elements. So this was fun. This project was quite fun. It's always, for me, it's always a really nice, calming, relaxing, thoughtful activity to cut and stick papers. Thoughtful because my mind kind of wanders and I think about, you know, different things going on in my life, or sometimes I actually get different ideas. And, you know, when you're doing other types of things, your mind isn't as free. So, for example, like taking a walk, these days I actually started walking more. And yes, I do listen to music while I walk, but it also frees me to think a lot about, different things, and I get ideas. And I also am able to chat more with God. I shouldn't say I'm able to, but I find that when I walk, I chat more with God. So I talk to God more. So that's fun. And art, doing this kind of activity in my art process, it generates the same kind of vibe. So it's cool. Now, although I have other patterns in my pinks and my blacks, I try to keep it simple-ish, and I also just pulled out like 2 different patterns of the pinks, and I think it was 2 blacks and a solid black, because I knew for sure I wanted solid black. I love me my black. So yeah. And while I was doing this, I was wondering if I would paint on top, if I would add, that element of the painting aspect afterwards, but I don't know. So I'm just enjoying this bit. It was amazing. It was, and I was so excited to cut it up and see what I got. Because after a while, everything just got kind of blurred and it just became one big piece. Alright, so now it's time to cut them up. I'm just chopping off my edges, all the excess pieces, and then I'm going to cut it up into my different pieces and then flip them over to see what I get. Okay, so I'm not doing that yet. I'm actually adding more of the text paper where I printed the words. But what I realized is I didn't want the entire words on them. It didn't feel right. So I cut the words in half. And even though with 1 or 2 of them you could tell what it was supposed to say, but I didn't want the whole word. So I cut them in half and I stuck them down in the different places. And I loved that effect that it gave. It changed the whole vibe of the, let's call it a masterboard. Because, it's just one big piece and then I'm going to cut it up. So it changed the whole vibe of the masterboard for me. And I love it. Again, if anyone is interested in any of these ICADS, I am giving away 5 in total. So if you are interested in any of this set, let me know. And we'll exchange email addresses. My email address is in the description below, and you could reach out to me. You can also message me in the comments. Let me know that you're interested, and I'll write back asking for your email address so that we can get you your card. I'm excited! Yeah, pink and black is cool. So I am looking forward to hearing from you all. Let me know which ones you're interested in. And I will send it off to you once you give me your address. But that's only via email. Don't send it in the comments. I don't want everybody to know your personal business. Email me and then we will get all that information together. And now we're going to cut it up into smaller pieces and see what we're left with when we have everything separated. So here I'm flipping them over. I'm just wiping off any little bits of pieces that got stuck to it, because some of it wasn't completely dry even though I dried it. And I'm just looking through to see what needs to be done, what could leave as is, what I could leave as is, what, you know. I don't know, I was like, it's all right. Some of them, you know. So I'm kind of putting them in two piles, one where they look good enough and one where I think I can add some things to it. And I'm just trying to sort them out, sorting through to figure out what I could leave. And I also am noting that I forgot to put the clear papers behind for journaling, so I'll have to add them to this set, because I decided that all of my ICADS this year will be turned into journaling cards. So I've decided that I'm already going to add some small pieces here and there. This part of it was actually more difficult for me than when I first started. Trying to add to these individual pieces turned out to be harder than I thought. But I guess coming down to this part, I thought about balancing. So for each piece, I thought, okay, it felt like it was missing something. So I just had to figure out what that something was, and then where it would go and how it would go. So even here, I was thinking, hey, maybe I could put a word. And I tried to add some, some interest on the back of it, but it didn't feel right. So it was about trying to find a balance and what exactly is missing, and then finding that thing that's missing. See, I love this piece of netting that I got. Now I want to use it everywhere. I want to use it in everything, but it didn't feel right. I finally found a piece that worked, and I'm going to use that. All these big pieces I was trying to fit in, and I ended up with this sliver of a piece. So sometimes it's just the smallest things that make the difference. And now here, feels very imbalanced. It feels like it's missing something on the side. But then when I added that there, I was like, oh, that's lovely. So I just stuck that in. And I'm just using regular school glue to do everything. It works. It keeps it really connected to each other, which is what we want. We don't want anything becoming disconnected. And I'm still working out if I want some words. So I'm preparing some of them, but then I was like, no, let's cut it up and get those marks instead. The marks are the words created, which is what words are really. They're marks on paper. See, I love how those marks look. But it's just about figuring working out the right place for it. So that's gone way to the left because I'm like, yeah, I don't know. This needs something, but I'm not sure yet. So I moved on to the next card. And I thought about breaking up all this black because it looks very black. But it didn't feel right. Wasn't working. This part was hard for me. So I added some more black in, but it's a different type because of the markings that the words make. But it felt better on the card than it was without it. I'm still trying to put those words in, and no, they're just not working. So what I did, I went back in my papers and I pulled out some papers that had bold marking of the same colors. This little piece here, I love it. I really, really love it so much, but it didn't fit on my card, so I didn't use it. So this has some nice bold marks, and I felt like I needed to cover up some parts of the card. And initially I was thinking to just use plain colors to cover up those areas, but I ended up using papers with bold markings, which actually I don't know how come I decided to do that, because yeah, that's not normally something I would definitely not do. I definitely wouldn't do that. But I like the effect that this had so much, and I know for me, this wasn't normal, but I loved it. So I just covered up some of those areas, those busy. I felt like they were busy or empty, and I just covered it up with something bold, but not solid. And I love the effect that that made. So I'm just going to go through my cards to see what bold pieces I'm going to add. Look at this one, these bold gold marks, and they're big. They're not small busy pieces, pattern pieces. They're big bold marks, which I love. What's interesting about these pieces too is that I actually ripped them, because all the other pieces are cut with a scissors, so they have sharp edges. But these extra bold pieces that I added on, I decided to rip it. And I also really love the effect that that makes. So we see I have all this pink, but even though it's plain, it still felt like, I don't know, it felt like it needed something bold and bright on that side as well. Even though it's not busy, it still felt like it needed something. The white look really good. This pink looks cool too. So these marks aren't as bold, but they are still big. I really enjoyed doing these cards. It was very different for me, and the process was awesome. And I know that this adds more busyness to the card, but it also, I don't know, it felt really right. This one looks really cool. Why am I trying to add something to this card? I like this card. What am I doing? Okay, let's see what I do. Am I actually going to add anything? I like this one, but it actually looks cool, you know, with it. I like that bottom piece a lot, so I didn't want to cover it. I remember that for sure. And I actually like how that angle looked. Not the gold. Did I put the gold? I prefer the circles on the page below. Oh, I think I went with the gold. Okay. I prefer these circles below, but alright. Let me know which cards you all liked that I did. Which which ones you preferred, and if you had preferred that I chose a different paper. And you see that black that I just folded over? I love that piece. I wish I had seen it before I put the glue on. I would have saved it. Yeah, I know. But I mean, it's cool. It's cool. I don't know. Let me know what you think about these cards. Which are your not so favorites? Which are the ones that you're like, ah? And which ones you really like? I like this one. There's nothing I should add. This one is really nice. Don't touch it. Yeah. I like those two. The left side could probably do with something, but I really like this card. It doesn't need anything. Did I cover it? It's so sad when you can't remember what you did. I hope I didn't. I think I said that I liked that part. Oh, yes, I left it. Good job. Okay, so these are my cards. I'm going to do a little moving close-up. And you'll let me know which ones you want. You could take a screenshot and send me an email. And give me some... Let me know in your comments too. Yeah, it actually doesn't look bad. Which ones do you like? I like this one too. It kind of blends in. I do. This one is nice. It still feels like it's missing something on the left. This one is lovely. Oh, I like this one too. All those horizontal lines. I like this one too. Yeah, so that's about it. Yeah, I love this one. Thank you for watching. I am looking forward to your comments, and I'll see you in the next video.